Ah, there we go. Bike has been cleaned. The bike has had a gusu. Right, so we're on JP L'Oreal. I'm gonna have a slow ride down. There's crab restaurant. Never busy in there. Never understand that. Maybe it's something to do with the prices. It's really windy today. Really windy. So there's a new 24-hour Japanese chicken place. Chicken's pretty good there as well. So yeah, what was I talking about? I was going to talk about health. What? I don't know how to start this really. Health. Yeah. Health. A friend of mine this week became ill, or a friend of Annie's, should I say, became ill. We found out this week. He's been ill for a couple of weeks, So we're talking about health. You only have one thing in life that you need to worry about, and that's health. If you've got your health, you can do anything. If you don't have your health, it becomes a little bit difficult to have a life and to get on. This is only my personal opinion, guys. It's only my personal opinion. But one of the reasons I stopped work back in the UK is I had a car accident and I was working too many hours and I wasn't looking after me. I wasn't looking after uno numero. I wasn't looking after my own physical health, and that's when I decided to turn around and say, stop. I don't want to turn around and go, no sugar for you. So much. So the coffee's just arrived. So it's breezy out here. The place is called Shakes, which is pretty good. Anyway, so I turned around and decided that I needed to wait there. The napkins are blowing away in the wind. So I need to put that on there. This is why I wear a hat. I can put my mask inside my hat. Yeah, there we go. So, coffee. Okay. Just put sugar in it. My God, sugar. All right, okay. So you have your health, and that's what you have. So I was very surprised. Peter's been ill for 3 weeks. He's gone to the hospital. They've turned around and diagnosed him with diabetes, which I think we already knew he had diabetes because he was drinking copious amounts of liquid, but he smokes, doesn't wash his diet. But he's also got an infection inside his bladder or something, which has just made it worse. So what I found very strange is he's ill, but he doesn't want to go to the doctors. He can't go to work because he's that ill, but he still doesn't want to go to the doctors. And today is about that mentality here in the Philippines. So I've come from a Western country. When I'm ill, I want to go and see the doctor. I don't go down to the local pharmacy and start putting paracetamols and all that gobbledygook in my body. But I want to know what is wrong with me. Yeah. And I think that for me stems back to when my father, when I was first diagnosed with diabetes, I went and saw my father and my parent mum and turned around and said that I think I had diagnosed with diabetes, and that my father was on the diabetic registry in the UK. And my father got really shitty because he didn't think I should know that he was a diabetic. So that strained out my relationship with my dad, because I turned around and I said to him, not interested. I'll come down and talk to mum and I'll explain to mum what's going on, but you're in denial. 2 years later he has a stroke. 2 years after that he's passed away. But it's all medical related. He was on medication, and they tried giving me the same medication as my father, and it didn't work. So when I came to the Philippines on type 2 diabetes, I could spend a lot of money every month on medication and drugs and stuff to keep me well, or I could turn around and change my lifestyle, and I decided to change my lifestyle. Now, what I do find difficult to understand in the Philippines, and you guys need to turn around when you're coming here, or if you're here, need to understand, you're only on this planet once. A friend of mine this week, called Peter, was had to go to hospital because he had issues with his diabetes, or he had issues that they associated with his diabetes, and then he had some infections inside his body. But talking to Peter, it was like, yeah, it's been going on for about 2 or 3 weeks. So he went, he had the tests. It was quite expensive. It was around 5,000 peso to get your blood test and get your blood checked and get all the other bits and bobs that they want to turn around and do at the doctors. But one good thing is they didn't turn around and ask him if he was pregnant like they did with Annie. So they run the same set of tests all the way through. Yeah. So here we've got this SPMC on the right hand side here. Today's a holiday, but yeah, good old we'll get rid of that one, won't we? So, yeah, so Jollibee on the left, and there's McDonald's. So the taxi driver doesn't know what he's doing, does he? Yeah. But anyway, so he went to the hospital, ran the tests, came out, and I was just chatting to him, and I was thinking to myself, why does it take 2 to 3 weeks to actually get to the hospital? There seems to be this fear factor of going in the Philippines, of going to the hospital. Yeah. Whereas in the West or in America, yeah, you know it's going to cost you some money. Yeah, you know you're ill, but you want to turn around and have somebody turn around telling you what your ailments are. Why have you got, you know, pains in your stomach? Why have you got an infection in your urinary tract? Why have you got an infection in your mouth? And the same with like the dentist. You know, if you get an infection in your tooth, you go to the dentist to sort that out. You know, because he's a doctor for your teeth. But here we go. So this is that new hotel here. There we go. Sogo. It's one of the only hotels I know that actually has underground parking in Davao, which is great. The one that's up at the Acacia doesn't have any parking underneath. They didn't design it like that. So yeah, go back to health really. So they have this fear factor of going to somebody that's going to turn around and charge them a lot of money. Yes. Is it the fear of the money, or is it the fear of finding out that you're ill? I don't think it's the fear of money. I think it's the fear of finding out that, you know, you might not come out of the hospital. And I think that's the fear that sits there. That my belief, anyway. It's only my belief. You know, and I've had this conversation this week with Annie, and I've just said to her, I said, look, Annie, if I'm ill and I got some pains and I got some bits and bobs that are not right, then I want to turn around and know what is wrong with me. I don't want to be sitting there with something that's hurting and giving me grief and giving me jip.
I love the way they drive here. Yeah. I don't know what driving school they go to or how they pass their test, but it must be like rolling dice. There's Aeon there, Aeon Towers, very nice. So I don't understand, I don't really understand why there is this fear to go to a doctor's to get a remedy. Now Peter is home. He was going to come round yesterday, but he's going to come round tomorrow just to let us know that he's okay. But also for me to turn around and say, look Peter, do you need help with your medication? Because medication is not cheap here, you know. When you go to get a prescription, Mercury Drug and Watson's, they rip off the people. They'll sit there with a lovely smile while they're doing it, but they still charge you a fortune. And I think it was 16,000 pesos for diabetes drugs when I first came here, which is like £250 to get medication for my diabetes. And for me, I paid it and I used it, and I then turned around and realised that I needed to amend my diet and make changes to my diet, make changes to my lifestyle, so that I wasn't paying $200 a month for diabetic medication. I was eating the right food, and that's what I did. However, going back to our friend, I don't think Peter, our friend, is actually doing that. I think he's drinking, and I think he's smoking, and I think he's like eating fatty food and eating lots of rice, all the things that turn around and kick your diabetes into touch. And when you do have diabetes, you are prone, or more prone, to getting infections. So we're coming into Bahada. The Victoria Plaza on the left hand side. So as I said, this is a slow drive down JP L'Oreal from Buddies down past the fruit stall, the bank, the BI, Bureau of Immigration, there we go, passport office, National Bureau there, it's closed, so you get your visa. That one there, it's open today, that's a bit strange. And on 7-Eleven, that opened about 6 months ago. Chowking on the right hand side here, it's got a small driving on the front, you can see it, you can order online. There's a nice flyover. Can you hear that guy? It sounds like a budgie behind me, doesn't it? It sounds like a budgie. So yeah, so health is just a scary factor that people don't seem to want to own up to here, that you will get ill, it's going to cost you some money to get better, but they would rather live with the pain, the infection, and everything that goes on with it, you know, the sleepless nights, you know, not feeling good, being sick all the time, and people would rather make that their lifestyle rather than finding out what is making them ill. Yeah, the duties of life, the duties of life. There we go. So this jeepney comes from up by the airport, it's a communal. Down here on the right hand side is Torres. But we're going this way to Clavaria. After Clavaria, I'm going to go and get something to eat. Yeah. So it's a funny old day today. There we go, lights have gone green. Two jeepneys coming out of the garage, because they undercut here, that's what they tend to do around do, jeepneys. That slow, the man on one of those lowrider bikes, zooming in and out of traffic. There's a Nissan garage. There's a new Toyota garage down here on the left hand side. I've not seen anybody driving the wrong way. Oh. Oh. Breathe in, guys. Breathe in. Yeah, so I don't know if you've got any comments, any of you guys, about health, why people just remain ill and have this fear factor of going to the doctors or going to the medical practitioners or going to the local clinic. Yeah. It does baffle me a little bit. Right, onwards, upwards, kneale on the left hand side. Clavaria in the distance, so that's where we're heading, nice and slowly. There goes grab. The brakes on the bike are wet, so they're starting to grab. Not grab as in what the guy just gone past me, but they're starting to go. See? Clavaria. Shoe salesman. Good to see back, really. It's a new hospital there on the left hand side. It's for the mentally retarded or mentally ill. There we go, the tallest building in Davao City.